If you know, you know. She's got a kiss full of heavenly fire. One little touch and you're walking her wild. She's got a way with never letting you go. If you know, you know.
We asked Derryl Perry, where are you from, and how did your hometown influence your music?
Well, I'm from Texas City, Texas, down on the Texas coast, right next to Galveston and just south of Houston. And grew up in that environment, you know, down there, very near Gillies and all the country music artists that would come through Houston, you know, playing at the Houston Rodeo. And you know, that's one of the biggest venues for country artists. So, you know, we got a lot of exposure there in that area. And music is a big thing in Texas culturally, and especially down in that area as well. So it was a huge influence on me and my upbringing, as well as, you know, just my parents' love of music and things of that nature that kind of carried through. And from listening to, you know, records, you know, listening to my folks listening to records at home. So it was a great opportunity to be influenced by music, and especially country music too.
We asked Derryl Perry, how did you first get into music?
Well, I was trying to learn to play guitar at 8 years old and took lessons, and took 3 of them and had to get out because I couldn't just sit there and read music and, you know, pick notes. So I was way too into football and basketball back then. So I figured I'd try back with that at a later date. You know, I wanted to play songs. I didn't want to read music. So that was my first taste of music. But then I got another taste of it, you know, when I was a freshman in college. I went back home to work. I worked in the chemical refineries there in my hometown during the summer. And one of the guys in the crew had a band and played guitar. And so I got him to show me the ropes, you know, kind of break me in. And we used to go to his house and drink whiskey till late and play Merle Haggard songs. And so that's what totally got me inspired to, you know, want to pursue it farther.
We asked Derryl Perry, who were your early music influences?
My early musical influences were like ZZ Top, you know, because they were from around where I was from. And they were playing around that area before they were big. So they had a little bit of a local name before they, you know, actually started making it big. And, you know, some of the pop music of that time, you know, some of the rock music of that time. And I started getting into Marshall Tucker and Charlie Daniels, and it was turned progressive country. But I was going to the library, and Leonard Skinner, you know, stuff like that. I was going to the library and checking albums out in my hometown. You know, they enabled that, and that was a really cool thing. So I would go check, you know, all the Marshall Tucker and Charlie Daniels albums all the time. And Charlie Daniels is a fantastic songwriter, one of the best story songwriters, you know, I've ever heard. And he very much influenced me on some of my songs like Angelina, a song of mine that was on my Memoirs from the Road CD, is very much an inspiration that the style that I approached the songwriting of it was very much influenced by Charlie Daniels and following Charlie's writing.
We asked Derryl Perry, can you remember the moment you decided you wanted to take music seriously?
I don't know that there was any one defining moment, but I think back during those times where I was back home from school, from college, in the summers and performing with the band that kind of got me, you know, influenced in. You know, they were kind of taking care of me. They were letting me sit in and turning my amp down low, you know, playing a little bit of guitar and singing a little bit. And so I was kind of bitten by the bug then, but I think just a little bit further after I got through grad school, I had some time to get back to doing the songwriting that I wanted to do. And once I started really getting in depth into the songwriting and going to the studio and recording, even though the songs were very, very beginner, that was when I kind of felt like, you know, I really want to pursue this. I want to put some effort into this, some heart. And I did. I put everything I had into the songwriting and pushing that, you know, and making that my second job at that point, you know, and I wanted to make it my first job. So I went at it pretty hard.
We asked Derryl Perry, what themes do you find yourself drawn into in your songwriting?
I tell you, I'm influenced by a lot of different genres, a lot of different kinds of artists, especially in my songwriting and production. I try to, you know, get things get inspirations from different kinds of artists, you know, rock, country, pop, some of the Christian artists. You know, there are a lot of things out there going on that can influence you both as a writer and a musician and a producer. And so, you know, I try to keep that end of it open. When I'm driving up and down the freeway, you know, going to gigs and stuff, I actually like to listen to stuff outside the genre to kind of, you know, open me up, free me up for ideas and creativity for my own writing and production. So there are a lot of artists out there that, you know, a lot of the really true artists, you know, they produce themselves and come up with a lot of these ideas, you know, that are very different. And they're either home runs sometimes, or they're, you know, they don't work too well. And so you got to be willing to put it all on the line, you know, as an artist when you go in there. And, you know, a lot of times you don't get a second chance. So you try to really bring it whenever you go in to cut records, or you're doing your live show as well. You know, same thing. You try to do something that's a little bit different, or something, you know, bring something to the table that people can identify and can gain a moment in a live show that's a moment tied to you. So that's kind of the way I operate.
We asked Derryl Perry, do you write your own songs? If so, what is the writing process?
I do write my own songs to the tune of, I've written about probably around 900 to date. And so, yeah, I've done it for a while, and I've learned a lot, evolved considerably. If so, question number 7, do you write your own songs? Yes, I do write my own songs. I've written about 900, you know, give or take. And I've done it for a while, and I really study songwriting, you know, in as thorough as you can study songwriting. So I'm pretty well versed in studying it. Hopefully I'm getting better as a songwriter every day. My writing process is whatever inspires me. It could be a melody. It could be picking up the guitar in a dark room and just start picking around and lines a melody. It could be a hook generated song. You know, it could be coming up with a line that, you know, I think could be cool to be written around. Movies give me ideas. You know, some of the greatest writers in the world write movies. So, you know, I'm influenced and openly influenced by, you know, a lot of different sources, and it contributes to the process, I think, because you know, the thing that develops the inspiration the most is the way you go with it. You know, sometimes I wake up and write a whole lyric without even grabbing the guitar. 90'sville, one of our recent charted songs, and the title of the upcoming album. I wrote the entire song on the steering wheel coming home from Tulsa, Oklahoma one Sunday from a gig, and didn't put the guitar to it until, you know, a day or two later. So the process with me, you know, it's whatever it takes to get the job done, I think.
We asked Derryl Perry, what themes do you find yourself drawn into in your songwriting?
I think things that inspire us to, you know, to recreate ourselves, or to enhance ourselves, to inspire ourselves to do things, fall in love, to get out, you know, run from lost love, to hit the road, you know, just get on the road and go somewhere and be free. You know, that's probably one of my favorite subjects right there. And because Lord knows I spent a lot of time on the road. But, you know, anything that connects people. I think the most important thing to do is to connect with somebody, to connect with the listener, and for them to go, man, that guy's writing about, or that girl's writing about exactly what I'm going through. You know, how do they know? I've had people say, how did you know? And it's one of those things, you know, I think the art of the communication is the most important thing in the songwriting, and letting people in that it's okay, that it's a common thing. We all have very similar feelings, we're all wired pretty closely to each other. So it's an interesting process, and I enjoy it.
We asked Derryl Perry, what has been your favorite live performance to date and why?
I've done probably almost 3,000 shows, so there's a lot of great performances, but I'm going to steal a line from Billy Gibbons of ZZ Top. He was doing a show with Brooks and Dunn, a television show on CMT, and they had questions going around, from the crowd, and somebody asked him what's his favorite show he's ever done, and he said, "Right here, right now." And I thought, I'm stealing that forever, because that's kind of a blessing to feel that way, in that if you feel that way, it's real easy to get up for the show, no matter what show you're playing, somebody's backyard picnic or in front of 20,000 people, and I've done both and everything in between. So there are a lot of shows out there. If I want to pick a few, we've done some shows at the International Balloon Fiesta in Albuquerque, big crowds, did a big show there, a Saturday show one year with Darius Rucker and some other artists, and had some other festival shows that were great. Did a really interesting show on the beach in California, the Pier Plaza at Huntington Beach. They had a summer series, and we were the first country act in like 4 years that they had put out there. And we had a lot of fun out there. They were really amped up, and it was like a little amphitheater set up on the beach right there. We were 200 yards from the water. And so the band after we're done, the band gets to go play in the water as soon as we're done. And I have to go to lunch with the booking agent. So, I missed that part of it, but the show was a blast. We also do the Houston Rodeo Barbecue Cook-Off, for a cook team that we love, the just-in-time cookers, and they treat us like family there, man, and that's a lot of fun every year. There's over 300,000 people that come through those gates, and so though we're performing in one of the tents like many others, there's a lot of people floating around, and you get to see a lot of folks having fun, and that's what it's all about. And it's about great barbecue out there too, and they do it right.
We asked Derryl Perry, do you perform solo or with a band? What is your current lineup like?
I've been doing shows for a while, and I've done like almost 3,000 live shows. And in Nashville, when we were performing in Nashville, almost every song was 5 pieces with drums, bass, acoustic guitar, lead guitar, and fiddle. We had some steel guitar very early on, but we shifted to fiddle. A lot of energy in the fiddle. People really dig it. And then when I moved back to Texas and recreated the band here, we're doing a lot of 4-piece stuff, and including drums, bass, guitar, and acoustic guitar. I play acoustic, and we add fiddle every now and then when we get a chance to, which I love. I love bringing the fiddle out, and I've been doing a lot of solo stuff, songwriter stuff, duo, trio. It's been the gamut here in Texas because there's so many different venues and so many different opportunities that you pretty much have to do that if you want to try to make a living at it. So I've been doing quite a bit of that as well. And right now, as a full band, we're 4-piece with fiddle, and on the side whenever we can get a 5-piece gig, for it. But I'm doing a little bit of everything. So wherever we go, we're going to represent our songs as well as we can in whatever configuration we got. And we're going to have a good time. We're going to bring it every night.
We asked Derryl Perry, how has your music evolved since you started?
My music has had a chance to evolve in a lot of different ways, because not only do I sing and perform, but I also write, I also produce, and also perform on some of the records. And I play guitar during our live shows. So, there's 4 or 5 ways that I was able to evolve as a songwriter, a player, singer, and a producer. And I'm even into videos now. I'm doing all my own camera work. I do my own video work. it's a learning process, and I love the challenge of all of it. I love to improve and study all of it. I have just as much fun doing one or the other, you know. So there's been a lot of evolution, both ability-wise, but artistically, it enables you to be a better you, a better representation of you as an artist. And so I think that's a fun part of it too. You know, it lets you evolve into that in a more immersed way.
We asked Derryl Perry, what is the one thing you want your audience to feel after you performed?
I think I want them to feel that the performance that we gave, everything we had on every song, and that they got a great representation of that song, however we do it. And we do a lot of cover songs our own ways. We do all my own originals, you know, pretty much similar to the record. We may elaborate on them a little bit, extend them. And I want them to feel like they danced the night away, that they loved the lyrics that they heard, they bonded to them, and they bonded with us, you know, in a live fashion. There's a lot of energy in our show. And I want them to have a good time. If they came out to have a good time, man, and forget something, that's great. If they came out to, you know, drink beer and party, that's what I want them to do. You know, I want them to feel like we're part of that, you know, and benefited that party for them. So, you know, we're there to provide the soundtrack to whatever they want to accomplish that night. You know, so I feel good about that, and I want them to enjoy my original music and you know, become part of following us, you know, and wanting to come to another show. The most important thing is they want to come see you again. I think that's probably the most important thing.
We asked Derryl Perry, what are you currently working on? An album, an EP, a single, a tour? What you got going on?
Well, right now, we are very busy, and we're blessed to be working on a new project. We've got a new single out called If You Know, You Know. And when I say we, Synapse Publishing and Entertainment, as a label, record label, and a publisher are, you know, teamed up with me, and we're working together on this project. And we've got this new single out, just out February 2nd. It's called If You Know, You Know, and we also put it out to stream February 6th. So you can stream it anywhere on the internet, any streaming media platform. If You Know, You Know. It's part of a larger project, which is an album project, a 15-song album project, which some of the songs had already been cut and released both to radio. Some of them have been to streaming, and we have like 7 or 8 new songs as well, and we're going to include those on this CD. So the CD is called 90'sville being one of the songs on them, and on the CD. And we hope you're going to get excited about that. And there's some honky-tonk on there. There's some good 90s sounded songs, hence the title 90'sville. But we're excited about that project, and the CD should be coming out early summer, and if not sooner. So be on the lookout for that. Tour-wise, we're trying to get in as many venues as possible. We're kind of shifting gears with the type of venues and the type of shows that we want to play. So we're kind of in the growth phase right now with that. After doing so many shows on the road all over the country, you know, we're very experienced at playing all over the country, and we're still wanting to do some of that, but we're also wanting to hit really strong markets for us that in venues that like to have original music played, along with a mix of some covers that kind of fit our show very well, and covers that we played for a long time. And we've always done originals. We've always done 15 or 16 originals in my shows, you know, from day one. So that's nothing new, but we want the focus to be on the original show, whether it be fair, festival, concert, club, wherever we go. And we want to keep them dancing and having fun.
We asked Derryl Perry, are there any collaborations that you're excited about?
Yeah, I just recently met a guy named Ben Coleman. I did a show at Love and Warren, Texas, here in Plano, Texas, a couple of weeks ago. And he and I did a songwriter show together. And man, the guy's incredibly talented, great singer, great songwriter. great guitar player as well. And we kind of hit it off, and we decided let's try to take a stab at it and write together. So we're going to get together very soon, and hopefully we'll come up with something all you guys can sink your teeth into, and we can get excited about.
We asked Derryl Perry, what are your short-term goals as an artist?
My short-term goals, I think, would be to get this new single out, promote it as hard as we can. I would also love to get this album out and, let people get exposed to the variety that's on the album, the energy that's on the album, and the real heart-tugging ballad-type songs that are on it. I think we got a great mix. Feels like 90s, and with just a touch of modern in it, just enough to bring it forward a little bit. Short-term goals are to get more live shows going, here in Texas and around the country as well. But a real good focus on getting these original shows going and doing it any way we can. I also want to have more exposure on social media. That's probably one of my weak points, and it's more of a battle. But the record label is kind of helping me with that, and we've got some people trying to help us figure some of that stuff out as well too. I would like to get some more cuts out there on radio and TV, and I would like to get some more cuts on television and movies. So we're starting to push some of that again as well.
We asked Derryl Perry, where do you hope to see your music take you in the next 3 to 5 years?
Well, in the music business right now, 3 to 5 years is long term, and the music business is changing so rapidly now, and it's AI is doing a lot, to make that happen, and some of it's for good, some of it's for not good, and it's putting a crimp on some very classic ways of doing things. And not that it's just so old school, but it's just, it's from the soul, when people create art, if you take the soul out of it, it's not art anymore. So that's my biggest worry about trying to plan things 3 to 5 years. I think you need to go with the best thing you got right now, as soon as you can. So, but 3 to 5 years, I would like to see myself able to co-write more, write with other artists, maybe produce some other artists, because I have a big interest in production. And hopefully I've learned a few things that can help some folks. And I would like to have some more television and movie cuts, as well as some hit songs out there, and I could even see myself, having some opportunities to, be in TV or movies or anything like that, because I have interest in that as well. And I have been on television, and I've done some of the television stuff before. So we'll see where the next 3 to 5 years, will take us. But we're game. We're excited about it, and whatever we can do to move this ball forward, this entertainment ball forward, we're excited about doing it.
We asked Derryl Perry, what's a dream venue or artist you would love to share a stage with?
Well, I think when I think of dream venues, I think probably the top one, historically has been the Grand Ole Opry for most artists, and I haven't performed there yet. I'd like to do that. I would like to go to Red Rocks. I see a lot of artists just, have a great time at Red Rocks. The venue looks incredible. The show, the scape of the show right there is just amazing, and I would definitely like to do that. There's one, we've been able to play most all the places that I've tried or wanted to, with the exception of Green Hall. I need to get into Green Hall and perform. And it's like my favorite place in the world, and we need to get in there soon, and hopefully we can facilitate that. I've been going there since, I've been going to New Braunfels as a kid with my parents. And that's kind of one of my peaceful places, where I go, where I try to get away. And even though there's hubbub there, I can kind of get away at the river right there below Green Hall. And so we definitely need to get in there and have some fun. As far as artists, I would say Dwight Yoakam would be pretty exciting. I would love to perform with Dwight. whatever venue that can be afforded. I would love to do that. He's one of the four on my Mount Rushmore country music. You know, that would be Willie Nelson, George Strait, Dwight Yoakam, Gary Stewart, and Dwight has a lot of that energy, and I'd like to get up there and try to match it.
We asked Derryl Perry, what do you like to do outside of music?
I have a lot of interests, man. I'm a very busy mind. So, but I'm so busy with the music right now and moving it forward that I don't have time for much else. Except for sports, I do make time for football and basketball. I like to go to games. I like to watch them on television. I like to study the game itself of football, and that is my kind of go-to as far as outside. I also enjoy the gym. I love to go to the gym and lift weights and work out and maybe shoot the basketball around a little bit. But I like to get a good weight workout in at least 4 a week and keep me in good shape. You know, help me be able to stay on the road and carry stuff and load stuff and be able to get out of bed in the morning. But outside of music, there's not a whole lot more than that. I love to cook, and I'm into architecture and renovating homes and stuff like that. So I enjoy all that kind of stuff, and that keeps my mind pretty busy.
Understand, if you know, you know. 'Cause she's got a kiss full of heavenly fire. One little touch and you're walking her a while. She's got a way with never letting you go. If you know, you know.